Sometimes thinking too much isn't a good thing. Sometimes you need less strategy and more understanding, especially when that understanding is the self-understanding that astrology can give you. I offer all of my YouTube viewers a discount on my astrological services. And if you would like to book in with me using the code YT at the link above, you'll get a discount on your consultation. I hope to talk to you soon. So as I was just saying, sometimes we can think too much. Sometime, as the old saying goes, we try to preach sermons to our heart when our heart already understands and knows that which is sacred. It doesn't need to be told what is right or wrong. It doesn't need to second guess itself. It doesn't doubt itself because in innocence, it knows. It knows who we are. It knows what we're supposed to do in any given situation. And when we begin to let that thought, there we go, thought, the moment that thought comes into the equation is the moment that we begin to recognize that we're suddenly split in half, where we previously knew. Suddenly we doubt, right? Suddenly we're scurrying for all these different options. Suddenly we see this pathway, that pathway, and multitudes of different pathways, and ultimately go, I don't know which way to go. And we forget what we ultimately know. You need to not do that. As we're approaching this new moon in Dhanishtha Nakshatra, the situation that you're involved in one area of your life or another requires you to think less and to listen more, to pay attention, to react rather than to strategize, right? Let's go a little deeper into that concept. You may be going, well, reacting is strategizing. No, 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 no. What I mean is to passively listen and then let what arises in your heart be what you need to do. But I am so confused about what my heart wants to tell me, you might be thinking. That's because you're thinking too much. You're trying to guess. You're not really letting yourself respond. Instead, you're trying to go, I better do the smart thing. Sometimes the smart thing isn't always the right thing. And sometimes the right thing, which seemingly goes against what our mind thinks might be smart, right, is not unwise. As a matter of fact, the right thing is always wise. It's just our mind tends to go with preconceived notions, preconceived ideas based upon past circumstances that then get in the way of us going with something that feels like a natural response to something. And then sometimes we find ourselves in that position with that otherwise natural response going, no, that's just too wild. That's just too crazy. That's just too radical. I better play it safe and go this way and plan out a strategy. Sure, walk the mystical path, but with practical feet. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that to a degree, right? And at which degree will you understand that it's a step too far? When you're having to sit and think and strategize, when ultimately you know what you want to do, you know what feels right. That impulse is arising. You're feeling a desire to act. Inside of you, you go, you know what? I just need to act and take action now, because if I act now and I apply myself in the direction that's surfacing for me at the present moment, then there'll be a breakthrough. It's that moment that all those things come to the surface, such as what if, or how about, or who will, or all those other things that we ultimately get lost and split in several different directions. With this particular new moon cycle in Dhanishtha, Dhanishtha is symbolized quite often by a flute or a drum. But the interesting thing about these symbols is they are just instruments. They are not pictured with somebody playing them. Why? Because it's the musician who connects the music through the instrument to the external manifestation of the music. So the musician is a channel through which that energy flows. And the musician is acting in natural response to the creative process that's arising within him. And so too do we prosper when we come straight from the heart. So too do we have more courage and confidence when we go with what feels right and true to the core of our being. Now, this particular energy is also influenced by Mercury, which is a Rajasic planet. I'm going to explain that. Rajas is the mist or the illusion that arises through thinking that we are the doer. And Mercury's in Shravana Nakshatra. And with Mercury in Shravana, Shravana is symbolized by the monkey. And the monkey mind tries to get too clever. The monkey mind jumps from one situation to another. And Shravana has some tendencies that are also racy, otherwise known as Rajasic. Rajasic is a little bit more than that, but just to give you a simple understanding, Shravana has some racy energy that is connected to it. When Mercury's there, it's going to activate that energy and make you feel on a certain level like this isn't wise, this isn't smart, and make you jump from one thing to another, when ultimately you're needing to trust in insight. Insight. Now, what does that word mean in this particular situation? I'm talking about that natural, passive insight that arises in the moment. I'm talking less about the strategies that we make based upon our preconceived notions and more the logic that just naturally arises because in innocence we know. You need to act from that space of innocence and knowing in whatever situation that you're dealing with. That's the way your decisions will have an opportunity to have a breakthrough. That is the way that you will thrive, by operating from the source. And if you could use a little bit of help with whatever situation might be bringing that cleverness, that doubt, that tendency to overthink the situation to the surface for you, again, you're entitled to a discount on my astrological services. Using the code YT, you can schedule in any consultation from a half hour to 90 minutes and get a discount at the link above. That's going to do it for this look at the new moon in Dhanishtha Nakshatra, which takes place on the 9th of February, 2024. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.